Good morning. Ain't much to say. Markets are just flat as could be. It's been quite a while. And just looking back here, other quiet times, this was pretty quiet. And, so the thinking was a couple of days ago that when it moves, it's probably going to move sharply in one direction or the other. And that's the risk. It's like, which way is it going to move? We make the assumption it's going to be up because the trend is up, but that doesn't mean it can't dip first and then go up. It's going to stay that way until, and when is that, McGraw? It'll only take one news event to get the market to jiggle. So next Friday. All right. So we'll see if we're going to be a flat line like this until next Friday, but there's news tomorrow. Thing is, can it move it out of this range? And we'll see. I mean, right now yesterday was pretty tight. We'll see where today's goes. As always, the first reference point of support is the prior day's low, resistance to prior day's high. And so now the weekly, last week was a tight range, and we're just trading inside of last week's range. It is what it is. And spiders. Buyers came down here. So this is used up as a reference point. And, day before yesterday, relatively wide bar. Can it get above or below? You can see the trading range on the hourly time frame. It's been intact. Really doesn't tell us much other than defining the pivot highs and pivot lows. Q's, that bottoming tail bar, thought it could get a little bit more going, and we saw quite a bit of stuff yesterday that didn't follow through at all with that reversal bar. Actually, there were down bars. So the market just continues to be plagued by this uncertainty. Well, okay, tomorrow, if tomorrow doesn't matter, then we should all just take the day off and go do something else. But maybe that, whatever news is coming out in the morning can get the markets moving a bit one way or the other. But we come here every day in anticipation of something happening. And if we're not here, we're going to miss it. All right. Now that's a little weaker, huh? That was, I'm talking about, that follow through was mostly in the Dow. That was down all day, but didn't violate the prior day's low. So a little bit of lower high, lower low there. Big trading range, even on the weekly chart. I think the goal primarily is to just stay out of the chop. This continues to be a big mess. Transports continue to just drift lower toward that bottoming tail bar. I would set an alert down here. Looks like that's where it's going. You don't really get any pre-market information here. These dots, reliable that is, to look at different stocks. CSX. That was beginning to turn, and that dropped. Just in the middle of nowhere here. Interest rates testing the low. The thing is these tight ranges, setting alerts to see if things start to move one way or the other. The 5-year That's turned around here. And what we want to see is these going in the same direction. Memory kind of fades a little bit as to, I don't know if I have the chart up here. No. The difference between the two, that one day that there was a big down day in the market. Is when they were going in the opposite direction, and this began to come down. But as long as these are going together, you can see, well, it's trying to turn around. They start going in opposite directions, get the market's attention. So far, nothing going on there. I think so. Well, it's down at support. It's down here. That doesn't mean it can't drop down here. So, a little fast drop down there. The market is, walking a thin razor blade kind of thing. You see how fast it reacts one way and then the other way. I mean, even if the market does move quickly in one direction, how much can we really read into it unless it really violates some type of significant support or resistance level? It's a 30-year. Well, at some point it won't work. Um, Coming up to resistance. We assume there'll be sellers. We'll see what happens. What does it hangs up there sideways? Russell just drifting down towards some support here. Now we looked at sideways, Bitcoin. Someone mentioned this as a buy setup yesterday, and I said, historically, it just wasn't a very good one because it started with a wide range bar down. Now, if this could turn into, what Dan calls a bear sandwich, meaning the next bar, assuming this one's red, the next bar would be green. You'd have a whole lot of support building up there. But right now, this could, if it closes red, be a measured move down. A lot of what ifs. Is it possible that as momentum slows and ranges tighten, traders might tighten stops? Yes, Thane. So I think more so from the point of view of the uptrend, whereas traders that are long and they see this whip back and forth, there's a lot of different ways to manage. We do it by price action. So this bar being a range expansion bar that took out the lows and closed at the high, it becomes a significant reference bar. So putting a stop below that bar would be how we would do it to tighten up, which is still relatively far compared to these bars, but it would be the appropriate place because if it breaks that, it opens up the door to this void. So, and if anybody is shorting, which for whatever reason people do things against this trend, their stops are going to be up here. So I think the initial move could be a whipsaw in of itself. Oil's been moving, down, up, getting wider and whippy. look at, you know, the way it came up here and just right back down again. And all of the closes are the same. I mean, I mean, I wrote it in the letter a couple of weeks ago, the market being a minefield, even though things weren't moving much. And we see that. Little mistakes and things get crushed. So rejected on the move up. It was looking good. Euro. It's just quiet everywhere. Little moves and then nothingness. So what we can do is just be here and wait for an event. This time, there's really just nothing much happening. Earnings are, there's a bunch of earnings today, but things are getting close to the tail end there. So I don't know. I think much more to say here. Charlie, all yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. Yeah, tons of earnings. So actually, I gave a list. I went through them myself because there were so many. So let's go through my list first. All right, long watch for directional. And some of these weren't gapping, like this one, PBH. It had earnings. I see one print up here at 54, but if it does open at 54, then that's a great 15-minute high. Party City. See, I can't tell where it's gapping, but nice wide range igniting there. They must have done a reverse split because that thing was on its deathbed for a while. Nitla might be gapping down too much, but the idea was if it can take out yesterday's high, beautiful retest here. 20 MA flattening out. IDCC to 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and set an alarm on that one. How about 69.75? All right, done. And finally, Builder. Broke out, a little bit of rejection there, big price void. I don't want it to gap up too much, obviously. Thomas asking about Square. It's, needs to hold right here. Maybe over yesterday, 267.50. Otherwise, it's just going sideways here. A short watch. This is my favorite one right here, Lemonade. Because I personally love things that are gapping just under resistance, not way the heck down here. So this is great, 80.70, which is, it's holding this prior low, but it's still a nasty gap. So that's step one. Step two is if it can't bounce, we'll see, 15, 30-minute low. But that's a great, he's in the batter's box. Cars, I can't tell where it's gapping, but that's a beautiful close, bearish close in a downtrend. So under yesterday's low, again, unless the gap messes it up, which I can't tell where the gap is now. Okay, Kilo, similar. That would be an ideal 1, 2, 3. Since yesterday's bar is so big. Look at poor Viacom. What a dog. Remember these are the things that hedge fund got smoked on. And look, breakout. We actually, I think, nibbled on it here. We gave it a shot as a bottoming pattern. And I think we got a small profit, but Like surely didn't go like I thought. Now this poor thing, uh, who knows? This thing might be headed to 35, 33. I don't know, but that's horrible. I'm gonna set an alarm on that so I don't miss it. I'm gonna set it, just eyeballing over here, 38.30. All right, that's set. And then all these have earnings, so we got earnings out of the way. XEC under yesterday's low. Another bearish consolidation weekly. Remember yet? Hey, do you remember yesterday's topic, Greg? Look at that beautiful topping pattern. Beautiful. Shakeout, wide range igniting. These 3 weeks are now under this pivot. That looks beautiful. All right. I would like it gapping up here to 64.35. Why? Because then, just like VIAC, it's not gonna trigger unless it's weak. I'm gonna set an alarm at just winging it here, 63, 65. You just want to be alerted before the obvious enter, just so you can reassess. 63, 65. All right. In November, Sierra. Look at this, another one that's just bearish consolidation. Look, closing at the low on volume. I can't tell where the gap is, but another topping pattern. Look at that. That was yesterday's MT Live. So even though some of the markets are at all-time highs, there's plenty of topping patterns. So that looks good. Provided the gap. Murphy here. It's not a 1, 2, 3 because the prior bar is green, not red, but it's still bearish because it's a bearish gap within the green bar with a price void. So Murphy's, and they got a sell set up on the weekly, so that's a short idea. And finally AES. I see one print, so I as you all know, I can't trust that. But this would be a breakdown daily, weekly. Wow, that's a beautiful topping pattern. That's like a triple or quad top. Look, pivot, 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 pivot. Bear flag, breakout failure, price void. Wow, I gotta write that one down. That's an amazing topping pattern and quad top. So this looks fantastic. I'm gonna set an alarm on this. So see, I got a lot of great patterns right here, long and short, provided the gap doesn't mess it up. But the good thing is we got earnings out of the way. Bear flag breakout. Yeah, perfect, Joe. Exactly. I'm going to set an alarm at 2360. But see, these are wonderful multiple time frame alignment also. You see all these ones that I'm saying are great? The daily weekly is in alignment with a price void. So these are all great setups. Valorian's asking about frog. I can't tell where it's gapping. The weekly is kind of a bottoming pattern. It's had a deep retracement here. It's in a trading range. I just like all the shorts that I just reviewed, Falarian. I like better. That's all. This is a trading range. Look at Fiverr. Got whacked. 182. So it's gapping a kind of no man's land. I would love this to come down further to 170. Let's now go through. Well, I have a bunch of them here on my list for credit spreads. So Myrna, a call spread watch. Gap down on earnings just for tomorrow. You know, it's still in an uptrend. All right, I'll do the call spreads first. Look, Charlie India, but now it's accelerating. So I don't think we're going to get anything for it. Etsy got whacked 177. I think the gap's going to be too big. The same VIAC, the same XEC, same Murphy, same AES, and then here's one Yeti. Gapping down to 97, so breakout failure. If we can get a call spread on this for tomorrow, that's an idea. Short put spreads now. Here you go, Cuervo Gold. That looks great. 30-minute high, there's a put spread. I'm gonna put that in the window. Cuervo Gold. It's a tequila company. SRPT, so this is some type of bio. 30-minute high, could be a put spread. ABMD, I think that's medical also. I can't tell where it's gapping, but over yesterday's high is bullish. Greg, your win had earnings. Look at that gap.
Maybe it's the start.
Yeah, well, I was also thinking put spread for tomorrow. BCRX. Now, see, it was gapping over this. It was gapping all the way up here to 18. But now this nasty retracement, I got no interest. PBH. See, I say one print, 54. Oh, we already talked about that one as a directional. So same thing. I'm going to set an alarm on that at 53.80, and we'll see if the market open if we have real prints or not. Oh, my alarm just went off at 54. So I don't know. No watching. Nitla, we talked about. SSYS 2270. Gap's starting to be a little big. Pizza 118. There you go. That's a put spread idea, McGraw. 15-minute high. If the spreads tighten up, I guarantee you they're going to be wide at the open. IDCC, I already set an alarm. EPC, I can't tell where it's gapping, but I like the retest. That's a nice retest, provided it can move up. Builder we talked about, and then Regeneron. Well, see, it was gapping up, now it's coming in, so just wait. All right, those were all my focus lists from all the earnings. Let's now just look at whatever else here on my list. These are obviously going to be duplicates, some of these, because the list I just went through was handpicked from this list. All right, APA. You know, I don't like the 200 being here, but under yesterday's low is bearish, little sell setup. TRMB. It's bullish, but no great pattern. Mealy up $100. Gap's too big, but you know, it's a bullish weekly monthly, so we can watch a pullback on that one. Hubs, there's nothing here now unless it can get over $600. Then we got kind of a reverse head and shoulders, even though the right shoulder's a little bit lower. So that's worth watching. We'll come back to. GoDaddy is bearish, but the gap's too big. FSLY, nasty gap, but gap's too big for me. DXC, yeah, now the gap's too big. That's now a nasty upside shakeout. Roku's a loved, you know, supposedly loved stock. Nasty gap. Let's just watch it. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to do. Looking at my things here. Facebook was strong yesterday. It was just out of the gate. It was strong all day. It's holding pretty well pre-market. Tandem up $4. Well, we'll come back to you. There's no liquidity. SRPT. Here's the one. Here's a put spread, McGraw. SRPT. 10-minute high. If the spreads tighten up. Charlie India. We said the gap's too big. Met, another insurance company. It's junk. Lemonade, I like. Allstate, another insurance company. Looks lower, but no great pattern now. Uber, gap down on earnings. Yeah, Greg was saying this was a beautiful sell setup. Look right there. You know, downtrend, rally and reversal, resistance, declining 20. Jack. Gapping down $5. 99. Could be a small day trade gap and snap. I have an alarm going off on EXTC and ESTC. So that we published that one yesterday into the close. We said, so now a 5-minute high is good to go. Because we don't trade in the first 5 minutes. Well, Greg, let me ask you a question. Would you, you know, because this is triggered now, right? So would you just buy, if we were willing to buy it into the gap fill, do we need to wait 5 minutes?
No.
No?
Swing, you could buy it right now.
Right. So we might need to
Swing stop and share sizing.
Right. I know. I'm saying we might have to readdress our gap rules. This is the first time I'm kind of asking myself this.